Well, this ain't no clickbait bullshit. We're actually in a bit of trouble here. Unless I can fix it, it's RACV time. And it is completely seized. So, yeah. Welcome to Great Off-Road Adventures and the Great Eas-Cape. We've shown you 3 seasons of rocks to reefs as we've explored our own backyard and the beautiful areas of Western Australia. Now it's time for us to take you to the East Coast. We're going to start in the Vic High Country, we're going to finish in Cape York. Come along for a hell of an adventure. Well, good day everyone. You would have last seen us when we finished the Barry Way. That was a couple days ago. And obviously we are now set up at our next camp spot. So we are now down at Tom Groggin. For the last few days we've been up at Jindabyne. Just went to the NRMA in Jindabyne, did laundry, went to the Woolies, grabbed fresh provisions, emptied the toilet, fill up the water tanks, all that stuff that basically needs to be done sort of once a week to once every 2 weeks so that we can then stay off grid. We're not going to waste the afternoon. Just up the road a little bit is Geehi Flats and Olsens Lookout. So we're going to go and check those out this afternoon. So yeah, anyway, enough chitter chatter. Let's get ourselves organised for an afternoon of exploring. Give you a bit more of a bigger lookout. That's where we camped at Tom Groggin. That's Geehi Flats. So yeah, so that's where we've come up this afternoon. And basically we need to look due south, slightly east of south, to see Mount Kosciuszko. Apparently it is visible from here, so we'll have a look, see if we can find it. Olsens Lookout, very specky, awesome view. It is still up for debate as to which one Mount Kosciuszko is. I know it is hard to see from here, but anyway, we were just having a look at it, playing around, and I'll show you the one way that we've had to play around to try and work it out, just using Gaia. So obviously found Mount Kosciuszko there, which once you select it, put a pin drop on it, basically says 174 degrees south. It's not the greatest compass, but it gives you some sort of idea, at least, to look in the right direction. 174 down that way. So yeah, could be that 4th or 5th peak down there. When you actually look at Gaia on the topographic map, it's sort of a little bit behind this ridge line, so hard to see with depth perception and everything, but it's back there. Well, down at the Geehi Flats area now, just taking a drive through, checking it all out. Just come up to Geehi Hut, so we'll check that out. The view out the back's just stunning. And then, yeah, we'll try and go and explore CB's hut, Doctor's hut, and a little bit more of the area. Okay, that is pretty, that's a pretty good view to walk out to. If you're watching and enjoying Great Off-Road Adventures, can I ask a favour for you to like the video and subscribe to our channel? It is completely free and it does help our channel. It helps us grow, get in front of a larger audience, and inevitably make better content. Thank you. Well, in hindsight, I think we camped in the wrong spot.
It was bound to happen this trip.
It was going to happen at some point, but yeah, this area, Geehi, stunning. So you just go past the Geehi Flats camping ground and Geehi hut towards called CB's hut and towards old Geehi Flats campground, and the track just goes along the edge of the river. And like, I'll spin you around. You could camp right where we are. Picnic table, rope swing, really deep pool of water that you could use the rope swing on. But the water is crystal clear, green grass. And then, you know, beyond camp, you've got this awesome, stunning just range, hills all around you. Like I said, I think we picked the wrong spot.
Next time.
When we come back?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. When we come back, we know where to camp now. We were blessed with a lovely night at Tom Groggin campground. We even got to see the Aurora Australis or Southern Lights. Now, considering we were in New South Wales, it would be quite a rare occurrence to be able to see it from there, but glad we were able to. It was very faintly visible to the naked eye. The camera certainly did it a lot better justice, but it was nowhere near what we saw a year earlier when we were back in WA. Morning everyone. Nice brisk start at Tom Groggin this morning. For whatever reason, it's like the girls knew we needed an early start and we're up way earlier than we needed to be. So anyway, we've been lying in the van, just letting a bit of time pass by, wait until the sun was up. It's up now, it's starting to warm up slowly. We're going to throw some food in the car, get ourselves ready, and we're going to go and hit this day trip The weather is looking superb today, so we should be granted and blessed with some stunning views from the top of Mt Pinnibar and Mt Gibbo. The track literally starts a couple hundred metres from camp, maybe a kilometre from camp, with crossing of the Murray River. So yeah, we'll literally be getting straight into it. We've also got to let our tyres down this morning, which I'll do before we leave camp. We crossed the river, that brings us back into Victoria. I officially think that today will be the last day that we are in Victoria. I think once we finish our day trip today and cross back over the Murray this afternoon, that will be the end of Victoria for our Great Escape adventure.
That means the end of the Vic High Country.
Yeah, I guess officially that would be correct. I guess we move into, you know, the Alpine region, Alpine National Park, Kosciuszko National Park, which obviously is very similar and closely related. But I guess officially, yes, end of the Vic High Country. Mt Gibbo ahead of us. That's where we're headed now. So we've just come up the Mount Anderson track. Now that's Mt Gibbo ahead of us. See the track snaking its way up? It's like a mini blue rag. Apparently there's a few rock steps and bits and pieces to contend with, but I'm not too worried. I've proven to be pretty capable so far. Gotta love them. The view behind me is awesome. Just gonna turn you around. You saying you're glad we did it today? Oh, just awesome. Well, top of Mount Gibbo. Got the rock can there. Panoramic views all the way around. Some stunning views of the track that we've just come along and the track that we're going to go down next. So you can sort of see the Mount Anderson track come up. So that next little peak is Mount Anderson. You can see the track that we've come up to Gibbo. Mt Pinnibar's down the ridge line. It's the tallest one down the end there. We'll probably get to that this afternoon at a guess. But yeah, just 360-degree panoramic views. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm just going to get Jess as well. I'm going to go out on a limb.
What limb?
Best views of the high country yet. Save the best till last.
That's a big call. I need to...
All of you that have watched the entirety of our Vic High Country little mini series as part of the Great Escape, let us know. Mount Gibbo, Mt Pinnibar, best views of the high country, or was Blue Rag or the Pinnacles better, or Clear Hills, Mount Sterling? Let us know. Let us know your favourite bit, because like I said, this is our last day in Victoria. We're sort of going to leave the Vic High Country this afternoon or the next couple of days, and we leave the Alpine region. So we want to know, I want to know at least, your favourite views, your favourite part of the Vic High Country that we've shown you so far. I'm going to back myself in and go Mount Gibbo, Mt Pinnibar, this region up here. If you want to see more photos and bits and pieces from the trip, make sure you check out our Instagram and our Facebook. Both of them are on the screen now. That's also the best place to send us direct messages or questions, to ask us anything about our setup, the trip, the van, or our travels in general. Off the Mt Gibbo track onto, I'm trying to get the name for us.
It was
Pinnibar Road, at least according to Guy, that's what it's called. So yeah, back on a gravel road, and this will take us around to Wheeler's Creek Hut. hopefully we can get there in time for lunch, late lunch, 12:30ish I'd say. Have lunch at Wheelers Creek, and then this afternoon we'll go back up over Mt Pinnibar, back to Mount Anderson, and then follow our footsteps home. So yeah, the views coming down the Mt Gibbo track were stunning, but also quite a few sort of little rock steps, wombat holes. You got to negotiate going downhill, so yeah, you just pick your line, work your way down it. You know, we didn't hit our side steps or anything under the car. We just picked a line. So, but yeah, I still stand by my claim at the top of Mt Gibbo that this northeast corner providing some of the best views and best high country experience so far. So minor problem, about to rip into it. We're just coming along, you can hear that squeak. It looks like I've had an idler pulley collapse. Literally just did it down the road there, and so we pulled over, had a look at it. This is what we're looking at. Maybe you can see, maybe not. But yeah, basically sounds like metal on metal grinding. Can smell a bit of burning rubber, like the belt. Certainly it's laboured to start the car, like there's resistance on it. And just looking at the belt line, yeah, the two idler pulleys, one's wobbling around. So I've got spare idler pulleys, I've got a spare belt. It's just a case of it being a shit job to do on a hot engine on the side of the road. And if it had have lasted 10 more minutes, we would have made it to lunch. Could have let it cool down, have lunch, cool down, then do the job. Anyway, as I said to Jess, better safe than sorry. Let's just do it now before the pulley completely fails, the belt comes off.
You just don't want to call my RAC.
If the belt comes off and jams awkwardly, we risk snapping blades of the fan. If they snap badly, they go through radiators. So, you know, we could chance driving it for 10 more minutes, but we do risk a much worse failure and compounding our problems. So I've got the spares, I've got tools. It's not something I've done before, but I know what I need to do. I need to loosen off the tensioner, take the belt off, and then take that pulley off, put the new pulley on, or put the other pulley, the spare pulley on, and then put the belt and everything back on. So I'm going to take a really good look at the belt path. I think there's a diagram under the bonnet, but it might have come off many years ago. But I'll take some photos, take a photo of the belt path, and then, yeah, get into it. And my camera person and camera trainee are going to film as directed.
Do we need to call a friend?
Who?
I don't know. Do we know anyone who knows how to do this?
Millsy, where are you? Thought you were coming to do the high country with us. Anyway, this is, I guess, part and parcel of solo touring, is knowing your car, knowing how to fix shit when it breaks.
Or be happy to call RAC.
Or, yeah, waiting on the side of the road for RAC. Well, in WA it's RAC. I think it's RACV over here. We are back in Victoria, and our caravan's in New South Wales. We sort of want to get back to caravan.
We are on a road, though.
We are at least on a road. Yes, gazetted road. This is also why I can't ever get rid of this car, because I know how to fix this shit. I don't want to, but I know how to. So anyway, enough chitter chatter, let's get into it. I don't know how long I've had these in the car for, but it's been a while. I've never hoped to need them, but I'm glad I have them. So 2 idler pulleys. Obviously one runs on one side of the belt, one runs on the opposite side. That's why one's grooved and one's smooth. Spare belt. These are used parts. at some point in time, I think when we did an alternator change, something like that.
Because that or engine.
My mechanic did all the idlers and the belt and everything as well, just peace of mind before we did this was, I think, before we did our Ayers Rock trip, something like that.
Oh, 2016.
Yeah.
10 years.
Anyway, the spares have been there, never needed them, but I have them. So, yeah, glad to have them. Looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's the grooved pulley that's giving us issues. Now to get in there, I think I need a 14mm socket, and then my socket wrench or breaker bar to take the tension off the belt, and then take the belt off and everything. What I'll do once the belt is off though, I'll spin all the pulleys by hand, make sure that there's not something else that might be the actual underlying issue, and I haven't found it. So yeah. I love and I hate this car. Like all of this morning up Mt Gibbo, loving it. What, 20 minutes later? Less than an hour later? This. That's the culprit, idler pulley. And as you can see, like the actual pulley itself looks like it's got heat in it. There's obviously all this rubber. And yeah, I mean, that's what the bearing should look like, but it obviously should spin. This one barely get a half a turn and it seizes. The back one, you can tell it's gotten hot from the discoloration, and it is completely seized. So yeah, troublesome part, trackside fixed. Okay, repair update time. It's running, which means we're not going to be stuck here. Bring an RACV. I carry both the idler pulley and the tensioner pulley in the back, so just had to dig out the spares. I've got a spare belt, but the belt that was on there actually looks in pretty good nick, so I'm continuing to run with it. That's a thank fuck moment for sure. So now just to basically put the bash plates back on, put the intercooler cover back on, and hit the road. So probably won't show you that because it's pretty straightforward and it's not much to see really. But why'd the bash plate come off? Because I dropped the old idler pulley when I pulled it off and couldn't see it for the love nor money. Couldn't see it on the bash plate, couldn't see it sitting around a power steering rack. I feared that it had dropped inside or lodged against the radiator and the shroud. I spun the fan over by hand and the fan was making just a tick, 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 like it was hitting on something, and I knew it shouldn't. So bash plate off, in underneath, and yes, exactly where the old idler pulley was. So a bit of fucking around, to be honest, to recover it, but glad I did recover it because it would have caused us grief later on. Okay, that little delightful job done.
Just a casual 2 hours roadside.
And not another car drove past that whole time. We're not on a track, we're on a road out here in the high country too. So yeah, context. That's why you have spares, that's why you know your car. That's also why you have emergency communications. So satellite phone, Starlink. Yeah. Another pro for the Starlink just then. Belt diagram. I pulled it all apart, forgot to take photos. Starlink, Google, fixed. And listen, driving, no squeak. Alternator charging. I can see my water temp. I'm sure it's going to be fine. We're on a win. Well, having successfully fixed the car, it was time for us to continue our day trip. We briefly stopped in and checked out Wheelers Creek Hut. It would be by far one of the nicest and cleanest, well cared for, well kept huts we came across in the high country. I think it's used quite actively for hunters in the area to base camp themselves out of, which probably explains why it's in such good condition. From Wheelers Creek Hut, it was time for us to jump back on the tracks, with our plan being to head up to Mt Pinnibar. Now, this section of track would be some of the steepest we found in all of the high country. It's in good condition, as in it's not rutted or washed out, but it is steep. It was loose and dry in places. So it was first, second gear, low range with a rear locker in, just to give me that comfort and confidence that we were going to climb it easily. So that gives you some idea how steep it is. But the views from the top, exceptional, thoroughly rewarding. For those that were unaware, this area sort of around Mt Gibbo, Mt Pinnibar, Mt Sassafras, this sort of northeast section of the high country was devastated by massive bushfires about 5 years ago. Now you can see in some of these shots, you know, some of those trees are never ever going to recover. You can see some of them are slowly recovering, and that's just the nature of these alpine regions. The vegetation, because of the harsh environment, just takes so much longer to grow, so much longer to recover. Okay, so what we've done today, track-wise, camper's Tom Groggin over here. Thanks, Em, kicking me around. So we went down this yellow line to this junction this morning, and then went up to Mount Anderson, So it's Mount Anderson's at the T-junction. Then we went up to Mt Gibbo. And then again come down the Mt Gibbo track to Pinnibar Road. And then Pinnibar Road turns into Wheelers Creek Road. Somewhere around here. That's where I had to do that idler pulley. Lunch at Wheelers Creek Hut. Left Wheelers Creek Hut 3 o'clock. It's 4:30 now to top of Mt Gibbo. So yeah, we'll probably be... Sorry, Mt Pinnibar. That's right, Jess. Top of Mt Pinnibar. So we've got to work our way back to Mount Anderson, down Mount Hope Road. Mount Anderson Road, and then Mount Hope Road, Tom Groggin track back. Still got a couple hours. The Mount Pinnibar track, which is a more direct route, is closed due to washout track conditions, so we can't go that way. So yeah, we've got to do this yellow line and then follow our footsteps back to camp. With the sun starting to get closer and closer to the horizon, and also some dark, ominous grey clouds forming, we decided to do a little bit less filming and pick up the pace. It was already going to be a late afternoon. We didn't really want to be out here in the dark or in the rain on these tracks, especially if they started to get slippery, because the whole area, it's a bit of an unknown to us. Well, we're just about back at Tom Groggin. We're just coming up on the Murray River, a river crossing. And so I guess this is the end of the Vic High Country. Got to say, it's been a real pleasure. All the places we've been, we've camped at, the tracks we've been on, the points of interest we've gotten to have been clean, tidy, rubbish free. You know, you can tell that Victorians look after the place, or people that come and visit it look after the place. You know, it's really put, and I hate to say this, some of the national parks in Western Australia to shame in that perspective. But you know, I'm going to be a little bit sad to leave the Vic High Country, but at the same time, lots of really fond memories. We've had a blast, and
we're coming back.
As Jess said, we've got plans to come back. So, don't know when exactly, but yeah, we'll be back. Well, it was a long day. We got back to camp at 6:45, 6:45 in the evening. That would normally be like end of dinner for the girls. So we've asked a lot of them. There's the last bit of colour in the clouds up over the sort of Kosciuszko main range. There's a pot of pasta on the cooker, just waiting for the water to boil. So yeah, it was always going to be a long day. Jess and I knew that, but very, very glad that we sort of swapped things around and made the effort to go and do Mt Pinnibar and Mt Gibbo, because they are in a relatively remote section of the high country, and just beautiful, like breathless views. You know, there's been a few times on the trip so far where I've struggled for words, and there was, you know, both at the top of Gibbo and the top of Pinnibar, much the same feeling where just didn't really know how to describe it. If you've got any desire or aspiration to come and do the Vic High Country, make plans and go and do it. I'm so glad that we basically made the plan to do this trip, because and started here, because it's really you know, set the bar high for the trip, but it's filled us with enthusiasm for, you know, what's next. This will be it for the night. I'll pick you up tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll explain to you our plans from Tom Groggin and where to next. Well, that is a wrap for this episode, and sadly it is the end of the Victorian High Country. We move on further north and we check out the Yarango Billy Caves, as well as the Yarango Billy Thermal Pool in the Kosciuszko National Park. And we also check out a few other bits and pieces as we make our way further north onto our next bucket list destination, that being the stunning Blue Mountains. So stay tuned, there's heaps more to come from our Great Escape adventure. Anyway, you all know the deal. Happy, safe adventuring. Stay safe on the tracks and trails. Hopefully one day we'll get to see you out here. If not, we will see you in the next episode. And as I mentioned during the episode, if you do us a massive favour, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's completely free, but it is massively supportive for us. Cheers.